The wait is over. The time has come. We are here tonight at BCW Breakout Night 2. Last week was a jam-packed episode, kicking it off with Night 1. And tonight we keep it going and we get straight into action with a triple threat match to kick off the night. Fancy Dan versus Pedro Loco versus Liam No Honor Connors to kick off BCW Breakout Night 2 here tonight. Thank you for joining us, everyone. 4 big matches here tonight, but we're kicking it off with this triple threat match, and there's big implications for this match. The winner will get to be in the first ever Champions Challenge match, which will take place next week. More on that after we find out the winner of this match, and more on that next week. We will go over the rules and the stipulations for that. So big stakes here. All 3 men are winless in BCW. All 3 have faced some stiff competition, from Victor Payne to Sergio Gomez to Kencho and Tofik. Lots of big matches that these guys have competed in, and none of them have come up on the winning end, but we're gonna have a winner between one of these 3 men here tonight. So, and also tonight on the card, the main event, BCW World Heavyweight Championship, will be decided in a Butcher's Brawl match. Butcher's Brawl match, knockout or submission. No pinfalls in that match. So it will be negating all of Dirty Don's sneaky tactics of trying to get a sneaky pin or a quick roll-up or anything like that. So it'll be an interesting main event here tonight. But let's get to this triple threat match. Big shots between Liam Connors and Fancy Dan. Fancy Dan reverses and hits him in the corner here. And this will be, as I mentioned, one of these men will get their first ever victory in BCW here tonight. It is 1 fall to a finish. But each man is going to have their head on a swivel in a triple threat. You're always trying to get that odd man out, as we see Liam Connors on the outside right now. You got to get the odd man out, and you got to try and make it a one-on-one. Because in a triple threat match, you're always facing 2 competitors. So it's going to be a tough one here. Who can do the most damage, get both men incapacitated, and one man able to be pinned or submitted or knocked out here. So a big shot from Liam Connors to Fancy Dan over the top rope. And he opts to leave him outside and go back in for Pedro Loco. Smart move there. All these men, all 3 of them, are rookies. They don't really have a lot of experience, less than 3 years of experience for each of these men, but they're showing a lot of experience beyond their years, as we've seen in previous weeks. And a big shot, a big bulldog there from Fancy Dan. Turns his attention to Pedro Loco and goes for that armbar. Smart maneuver there. It takes 3 seconds to get a pinfall, but it can take a fraction of a second to get a submission. And he's really wrenching on it there, but Pedro Loco manages to get out. I think it's still a little early in this match. Bit early in the match for the submission, but if you can weaken him up, if you can constantly keep attacking those arms for a submission later on in the match, it is a smart strategy. As I was mentioning earlier, all these men have experience beyond their years. A big code red there. Experience beyond their years. They've all showed flashes of brilliance, all showed some great strategies in their previous matches, but they just haven't had that breakout performance, pun intended, to get that elusive win for all 3 of these men. So very important here tonight, and BCW management recognize the importance of getting one of these 3 men a win, having them build up some wins, get that confidence under their belt. So that's why they will be competing here for a very big prize, the Champions Challenge match, which will take place next week. And a little double team here. Big double DDT. Pedro Loco rolls to the outside. That could be it for him for this match. Pedro Loco is the smallest competitor on the roster, and by default, I'm pretty sure he has the smallest neck on the roster, so getting that double DDT could have really dazed him. Big kick there from Liam. Pedro Loco still woozy on the outside. Is he going to try and get back in? And he does. What's Liam Connors got here? Oh my God! Pedro Loco with a big kick. That could be it. He could be knocked out from that match. That's the move of the night, and this night just started. He had all the momentum, and Pedro Loco just went for that kick. And now a big move to the outside. This is Pedro Loco's match to win, and go for the pin, kid. This could be it. He could be knocked out. 1. Only a 2 count. I think if he would have went for the cover right away, but you would have had Fancy Dan to deal with. So Smart taking him out and doing the best he can in a big Spanish fly. Pedro Loco, could he get the win? 2. Oh. Pedro Loco is getting loco here in this match. He is fast and furious, just unleashing some big offense and coming up with some real close near falls, some 9.99s. Fancy Dan watching on. Maybe he knew Pedro Loco was going to kick out. He could maybe see his eyes, see that he was still conscious, but I don't know. Fancy Dan taunting. I don't think that's the move here. And a big German suplex. Now it's Fancy Dan and Pedro Loco jockeying for a position. Smacks it off. And goes for the big armbar again. Could this be it? Liam Connors on the outside. Nowhere to, and that is it. Fancy Dan pulls off the submission victory. Wow. The closing minutes of that match were fast and furious. See there, a big bulldog from Fancy Dan. And this is the move. This is the move of the night. This is the move of BCW. Full head of steam and just bam, right to the neck. Could have broken his clavicle. Could have collapsed the trachea. Could have done some serious facial damage. Broke his nose. But Fancy Dan able to capitalize. Liam Connors knocked to the outside. Pedro Loco was a man on fire, but got caught in that submission.
Here is your winner by submission, Fancy Dan.
Congratulations to Fancy Dan. He will be the recipient of that Champions Challenge match next week. BCW Breakout is sponsored by Fastraw BMX Bike Hard. And by Slim Jam, snack into a Slim Jam, the world's #1 weight loss jam. And by Pro Wrestling Pants. Go to ProWrestlingPants.com now.
The following contest is a #1 Contenders match. Making their way to the ring, Amir, Big Money, Mann, and Grizzly, Mack. Making their way to the ring at a combined weight of 495 pounds, the Future, Cameron Lewis and Isaac Taylor, the Brotherhood.
And the bell has rung. The match is underway. Big tag team grudge match here tonight. Amir, Mann, and Grizzly Mack taking on the Brotherhood. And this match is for the #1 contendership for the BCW World Tag Team titles. Since week 1, Amir, Mann, and Cameron Lewis have had a grudge that has been boiling over for the last few weeks especially. But once Grizzly Mack came into the mix, it has really heated up. Amir has made it his mission to make sure the Brotherhood, more specifically Cameron Lewis, does not win the BCW World Tag Team titles. And there is no better way than for them to win the match here tonight and become the #1 contenders themselves. And if they can win the titles, then they're in the best position to keep the Brotherhood away from those titles. So big stakes here tonight, #1 contendership on the line. We got Isaac Taylor throwing Grizzly Mack in the corner and making a tag. And I think that's going to be the story here. It's going to have to be the Brotherhood using those frequent tags, using those big double team maneuvers to inflict as much damage as possible. I think the strategy going into this is have Grizzly Mack do most of the damage. Oh, and a big shot there. Is have Grizzly Mack really come in and be the cleaner for this one. Have Amir come in, do a few things, and then have Grizzly Mack predominantly do probably 80% of the damage in the fighting in this one. I think that would be their strategy going in. Grizzly Mack is seemingly indestructible. He has shown no weakness so far, and he has that brutal claw submission hold that he's been using. So I think the smart money is to use him mostly in this match. Use him for another tag, as I say that. What big double team move are they going for here? Big neck breaker. So I think the strategy for the Brotherhood is going to have to be use those frequent tags, use a lot of double team moves if they can to inflict as much damage as possible, because I think out of these 4 competitors, the one that can deal the most damage just by himself has got to be Grizzly Mack. And speaking of tag maneuvers and big damage, big Rana into a powerbomb. Isaac Taylor and Grizzly Mack face each other just a few weeks ago in a one-on-one, and it was just a barn burner of a match. Just big shots, no feeling out process, just big move after big move, and I think it took its toll on both these competitors. It was Grizzly Mack in the end that got the victory. Isaac Taylor had his hand near the rope. It was a victory, but under dubious circumstances. But once you count that pinfall, it goes in the record books, and that is it. Definitely we could see them going again in the future, because that match was a barn burner, and continuing that tag team style here tonight. Knocks Cameron Lewis off the apron, but just shrugs him off. Isaac Taylor, all power for his side of the team. In the blue corner, big spine buster, as I say, power. But a quick kick out from Amir. Is he going for that patented pounce? It looks like he is. Sending Amir for a big pounce across the ring. Really feeling it here tonight at the pay-per-view. Really trying to make a show, just unleashing some of these big moves on Amir, and Amir's crawling. He wants no part of the power of Isaac Taylor by the looks of it. And quite frankly, I can't blame him. I wouldn't want any part of it either. The rare times that Amir is in the ring, if they can isolate him, keep Grizzly Mack out of this, that's the strategy they want. A big tag team move there. Big neck breaker and a slam. Oh, and a big mistake there from Isaac Taylor, and he knows it. As you can see right there, not only did he hit his partner, but he hit the referee trying to get to Grizzly Mack. Ref is still down. We'll have to see if that plays a factor. We'll see if Cameron Lewis or Amir. Oh, and the referee is getting back up. Little woozy, little dazed, but toughest refs in the business gets back up and gets back to work. Cameron Lewis, big reversal there over the shoulder. Oh, and a back elbow, spinning back elbow to the face of Amir. Amir reverses and gets reversed again into the ropes. But he can't make the tag even though he's right there. A good strategy by Cameron Lewis, just wrapping him up. Making sure he can't even get to the ropes by digging that left knee right into the back. He's got that clover leaf on the legs, just really tying him up. Very technical maneuver from a mainly high flyer in Cameron Lewis. And a big side effect. Oh, and he kicks right back up. Says F that. Side effect right into a kip up. And we don't talk much about the resiliency of Cameron Lewis. We talk about his high flying. We talk about his speed. Showing the resilience there, taking a licking and coming right back and keeping on ticking. And I think he's just trash talking Amir, saying tagging Grizzly Mack, I think. But Amir's woozy on the ropes there. I think he's just looking into his eyes, saying, if you want me, come get me. Don't bring in Grizzly Mack. Don't bring in any other help. Just come at me one-on-one. Amir shrugs it off, gets back in. And he does a big destroyer in the corner. Right near the hardest part on the apron, that corner bead. That's where the boards have almost no give. Definitely not what you want is taunting. That's what he gets for taunting. Oh, and the referee taken out again. The referee in this match is definitely going to cash in on that hazard paycheck. And look at that big back suplex. Oh, and a big spine buster. Right off the ropes, giving it that extra mustard on that hot dog. Wow, spinebuster devastating enough, but launching off and having all that momentum. Oh, and a big moonsault. Don't typically see the high flying from Amir. He's more technical, trying to do that moonsault probably to show up Cameron Lewis, but it did not pay off. Leave that one to the professionals like Cameron Lewis. Takes him back into his corner. Throws him off the ropes for extra momentum, and a big kick. That could have knocked him out. That was a huge kick. And having that extra momentum. Cameron Lewis, the master of momentum. As we see right there. Flipping him inside out. Could this be it? 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Grizzly Mack going back to his corner. I think he's hoping that Amir can get to him so that Grizzly Mack can get in. I'm sure with the money of Amir, there's definitely a bonus in it for Grizzly Mack if they get the victory here tonight. And Grizzly Mack on paper, just because of his strength and his skill and his athleticism, on paper he's the perfect tag team partner, but in actuality he is the perfect tag team partner. He's constantly breaking up those pins. He's constantly in the perfect positions when he's not in the ring. Not only just does he have from a physical standpoint on paper to be a really, really exceptional tag team partner, but he has the tag team fundamentals to back that up as well. Miscue there from Amir and Isaac Taylor in the ropes. So we know the Brotherhood work very well together, but we don't know how well Amir and Mack work together, but they've been working, every match we've seen them in, they've been phenomenal. So I don't think there's any issues there. I don't know if the Brotherhood were trying to exploit that part of it, but exploit this. Boom! Right to the outside. Sunset flip bomb from the inside out, and that padding it's razor thin. It's really just enough to meet the Athletic State Commission's recommendations of having padding on the outside, but it's essentially like hitting concrete without hitting the rough surface. It's mostly just a surface covering, so that move did a lot of damage, I'm sure, to Isaac Taylor. Got him in the ropes, and what's he going to do? Isaac Taylor taking his time, and Grizzly Mack is stirring again. Is he going to go for that corner bead apron bomb? Boom! That could have broken a vertebrae or snapped the spine. That big corner bead power bomb, that move should almost be outlawed because it's so dangerous. Especially to the back, the spine, the whiplash effect where you just hit that corner bead of where steel meets wood and there is no give. The only give is in your spine. Isaac Taylor stalking him down, but the count's getting high up. A count-out victory is still a victory. It would still count. Referee's getting higher up. And just makes it back in time, does Amir. He does not want to be counted out. And a big knee. And the Brotherhood have been executing this game plan, what I believe to be their game plan, to perfection. Once Grizzly Mack gets on the apron, just isolate Amir and just attack, and that's what they've been doing. But a big side effect, is he going to kip up this time? He does not. Opts to not go for the tag, but go for a big move. I think the hatred of Amir to Cameron Lewis. Oh, and he went for that big running blockbuster, but shrugs it off. I think the hatred between Amir and Cameron Lewis is clouding Amir's judgment, because he should have went for the tag there. But he throws him in the corner. Is he going to make the tag now? I think he's trying to say, bring it on, but I think he's also tired too. He may have collapsed a bit there. Amir's been in the match a long time. He's been taking a lot of punishment. I wouldn't blame him if he couldn't quite make it to his feet. Oh, but he's admonishing him. Big mistake. Letting his anger, letting it get heated. Goes for the pin. Referee in perfect position to see. 2. And they get it. New #1 contenders, the Brotherhood. Executing the game plan to perfection. Grizzly Mack was doing some big damage at the beginning of that match, but once he tagged out, they were able to isolate Amir for the rest of the match, wear him down, get the pin. Brotherhood, new #1 contenders for the BCW World Tag Team titles. Wow.
Here is your winner, the Brotherhood.
And we have our next match, the co-main event. Sergio Gomez taking on Benson Hicks. 6'2 versus 5'10, 295 versus 220. But you can throw all the variables and intangibles out. This is a grudge match full of hatred, full of deceit, full of cat and mouse. It's been brewing since week 1. We're going to see who wins. Sergio Gomez and Benson Hicks here tonight.
He stands 6 feet, 2 inches tall, and weighed in at 295 pounds. He is a luchador who brings over 30 years experience, all the way from Gomez, Palacio, Durango, Mexico. He is the legendary luchador, the idol, Sergio Gomez. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighs 220 pounds. He is a technical brawler and striker from Dallas, Texas. He is the red Benson Hicks.
All right, the time for talk is over. Sergio Gomez versus Benson Hicks here tonight. Big grudge match we have here. Oh, and a big tilt-to-world backbreaker. Big grudge match we have here tonight. For the last several weeks, it's been a cat and mouse game between Benson Hicks and Sergio Gomez. As we've seen famously, we had Sergio Gomez dressing up local indie wrestler Slug as the quote-unquote fake Benson and just brutally beating him up. Benson came to the rescue. They had a tag team match with Benson and fake Benson versus Los Gomez, and it's just been cat and mouse back and forth for the last several weeks. But has the mind games paid off for Sergio Gomez? We're going to find out here tonight. Benson Hicks and Sergio in a big stunner there, doing what it's supposed to, just stunning them. And you can see there the heat between these two, just Benson Hicks uncharacteristically just choking Sergio Gomez and now just stomping him out. Sergio has really been playing some mind games, so I think Benson is extra fired up here tonight. Goes for the cover. Sergio not only has the experience, 30 plus years experience of wrestling experience for Sergio Gomez, but in that 30 years you can't help but learn all the tricks when it comes to mind games as well. So were the mind games enough? Has Sergio Gomez pissed off and taunted Benson Hicks? Has he got into his head enough to get the win here? And that was a big DDT. He shrugs it off at 1. I think Benson trying to make a statement saying you're not even going to get a 2 count on me tonight. So we're going to see, but all the preamble of it doesn't matter what you do before the match. It all comes down to what happens when the lights are brightest and the stage is the biggest, and it doesn't get any bigger and better than BCW on pay-per-view, and he's locking him up here. Benson Hicks, not typically a submission specialist. Maybe it's just a tactic to wear down the neck. We do know Benson Hicks has that cactus driver, that pile driver maneuver that he uses, so he could be trying to weaken up the neck. But what Sergio got here, taking him up top. Very high rent, very high risk. Oh, big Rana! Big Rana from the top. Tippy top rope. Both standing on the top. That's got to be about 10 feet in the air that you're doing a big Rana flip from. But that's Sergio Gomez's specialty. The 30-year lucha veteran. Hurricanranas are not something that he is unfamiliar with. He's been doing them since he was a teenager. But with his added size that he's put on since being unmasked in Mexico about a year ago, he's if you combine that lucha speed and agility and all the lucha moves that use momentum, but you have all that size and that weight behind it, it's a devastating combo. So I think a move like that just adds extra damage than if it was with someone lighter, like a Pedro Loco, like we saw in our opener. If Pedro Loco was to do the same maneuver, he wouldn't have the momentum, wouldn't have the gravity on his side. It looked like Sergio was going up top, but Benson quickly gets to the ropes, quickly gets himself off the mat. In BCW Week 1, we saw this match, and we saw Sergio go to the top rope just like he's doing right here many times and just have that weight crash down on him. 1, 2. Don't want to kick out. We saw, I think it was 2 or 3 times in episode 1 where we saw Sergio go crashing off the top rope and just obliterating Benson, but every time Benson has kicked out and kicked out and kicked out. And tonight was no exception, another kick out, but that is just a brutal maneuver. And speaking of brutal maneuvers, and he's taunting him, he's feeling, just kicks him in the face. Just knocks him there, big clothesline, big drop kick. But that is a calling card of Sergio Gomez, is that top rope maneuver, especially now if you're using all that weight, almost 300 pounds crashing from the top rope. And a big booty attack there. And just hits him again and goes right into the cover, veteran maneuver. That's where that 30 years pays off. Big move, quickly into the pin. So smooth seeing a veteran like Sergio Gomez just execute picture perfect, as I say picture perfect, that was a picture perfect backflip as he got clotheslined right over the top rope. But just seeing a veteran so smooth, so savvy, every little move he does in the ring, cold and calculated, he knows everything to do at every point. The real only hole in the game of Sergio Gomez is just that cardio. Since putting on all that extra weight, I think that's the only wrinkle in his game. He's got the experience, he's got the know-how, he's got the toughness. He has that skin that's just leather hard that you only get from 30 years working on the mat. Only thing is, you can try to hope that Sergio makes a mistake, but with 30 years experience, that's a long shot. Benson only 10 years, so Sergio 3 times the experience, and Benson a 10-year veteran in his own right. But I think Benson's got the right idea here. Just go for the big moves, go for the big strikes, and he's got that Alabama slam by way of Texas. He's been hitting him with some big moves. He tried for that pile driver, hit that big Alabama slam, and this could be it. Signature maneuver. The patented red, white, and bruise, which could he be going for, and he is. Hits him. Falls to his back. Goes for that big worm and then hits him with the elbow that he calls a red, white, and bruise. That elbow to the solar plexus. Not only does it injure your ribs, but it knocks the air right out of you, gasping for air, Sergio. But he manages to get out. And I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. If you have never had a rib injury, if you've never been hit, punched, kicked in the solar plexus, if you've never been in a fight, never been sparring, and you don't know what it's like to get hit in the chest, in that solar plexus region, it's like a pause button for your body. It temporarily incapacitates you, and then when you combine the air rushing out of your lungs, now you're gasping for air and your body's hit that pause button. It's a devastating maneuver. That's why Benson uses it. And much to the same, that's why it's so devastating when Sergio comes off the top rope and just crashes on your ribs. Your whole rib cage gets compressed. That air involuntarily comes out of your ribs. The air involuntarily rushes out of your ribs, so any maneuver that targets the midsection is absolutely brutal. And it affects every part of your body. You can't move your arms right, your back right, your legs right, your neck, your head. Once you get those ribs out, it is game over. So, and speaking of hitting the ribs, boom, right on his back. Could have had a whiplash effect on his neck there, it looked like, too. And Benson really mixing it up, going for the head, going for the legs, the arms. Keeping Sergio guessing. And that could be part of Benson's strategy. If you keep Sergio guessing, he might not be able to figure out what your strategy is. If you're mixing it up from body part to body part, Sergio might not know what you're going for, and then it makes it a lot more difficult to counter. Speaking of counters, Sergio's going to have to counter this. If he has any hope of winning, I don't know if he can take another red, white, and bruised. Benson pulls him right to the center, using that extra second to get him there, but now he's not near the ropes. He's got to kick out. And he gets him. Sergio had enough in the tank to kick out the first time from that red, white, and bruised, but not the second time, as we see here in the replays. Big maneuver, but Benson just cannot be put away with it. Using a lucha move there for the jackknife cover, opts not to go for the pin. Could have been a mistake, maybe not. Jackknife covers usually don't end up getting the pin, but
here is your winner via pinfall, Benson Hicks.
Congratulations to Benson Hicks coming out on top here tonight in the co-main event. And let's take a look at the BCW records of our main event competitors. Dirty Don, BCW record 3-1. In week 3, he defeated Benson and Byron to win the BCW World Heavyweight Championship, went on to defend it against Adam Ace, and then had that defeat in the 6-man tag just 2 weeks ago. Byron Cassidy BCW record 4-2. But if we look at the bottom here, I think the main factor in this is the 4 wins. 2 by submission, 1 by pinfall, 1 by KO. All of Dirty Don's wins have come by pinfall. So I think that's why Byron opted to go for the Butcher's Brawl here tonight. Submission and knockout only. And as we look here at the BCW Breakout Breakdown, in week 1 we had Dirty Don rolling Byron up, going for that sneaky pin. As you can see, he had the knee brace and the tensor bandage that he had on his leg, possibly even a handful of tights. But Dirty Don got the win, advanced to the finals of the BCW World Title Tournament in week 1. Then in week 3, Byron Cassidy managed to win that tag match in week 2 and get back in to make it a triple threat for the world title, which happened in week 3. Dirty Don tossed out Byron, brutalized Benson Hicks, was able to hit him with that dirty driver, get the pin, and become the BCW World Heavyweight Champion. After Dirty Don became champion, it was really just Byron Cassidy racing to climb up those ranks so he could get another world title shot, get another chance to face Dirty Don, which he did in a number 1 contenders match against Benson Hicks. We put both these 2 top competitors, both had a grudge against Dirty Don, but in the end it was Byron getting the 3 count, getting the win over Benson Hicks, and getting a rematch for the world title. But then Dirty Don came out and attacked Byron. Once he knew who his challenger was for the pay-per-view, he just went and got that sneak attack as per classic Dirty Don style, getting the jump on his opponents. And speaking of getting the jump on his opponents, it was Sweetcox and Byron for the number 1 contendership just a few weeks ago. Dirty Don put his title on the line against Adam Ace, and Dirty Don made a play to management to have Byron put his number 1 contendership on the line. And that's exactly what happened there. Dirty Don, trying to use all the tricks in the book, tried to come out and distract Byron so that Sweetcox could get the win. But in the end, it was Byron with that big knockout shot. Big KO victory over Sweetcox. And then in week 8, it was a 6-man tag team main event. Dirty Don and Hard Limit taking on Byron Cassidy and the Game Changers. And in the end, it was Byron getting the submission over Sweetcox. And by winning that match, he was able to pick the stipulation for the world title match here tonight. And Byron Cassidy chose that Butcher's Brawl match. Knockout and submission only for this match. And I think that's going to play to Byron Cassidy's strengths. He's won by pinfall, he's won by submission, he's won by knockout. He's got all the tools of the trade to win in so many different ways. So I think that's going to be a huge disadvantage for Dirty Don. And I think Dirty Don knew it as soon as he said it right there. You can see Dirty Don backpedaling, and he doesn't backpedal often, but he was backpedaling there for sure.
The following contest is your main event of the evening and will be a singles match.
And it is time for the world title main event in a Butcher's Brawl match. Byron Cassidy versus Dirty Don. We got a shoot fighter versus a cheat style fighter. 34 versus 40, 5 years versus 15 years. UK versus Canada. Throw it all out the window like I always say. It's for the World Heavyweight Championship here tonight. Who's going to get it done when the lights are bright and the stakes are high?
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is for the undisputed BCW World Heavyweight Championship. He stands 6 feet tall and weighing 230 pounds. He is a shoot wrestler and submission specialist. He is the Butcher, Byron Cassidy. Fighting out of the champion's corner. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in at 210 pounds. He is a technical wrestler and brings over 15 years of international experience. The undisputed BCW World Heavyweight Champion, Dury Dawn.
The introductions are over and this match is underway. Main event, BCW World Title on the line. No pinfalls in this match, just submission and knockouts. But as we heard earlier, I think one of the biggest stipulations for this match is that Hard Limit is banned from ringside. We've seen in previous weeks that there is some sort of relationship between Dirty Dawn and Hard Limit, and they are banned from ringside, which I think is a smart move from management. Hard Limit has not come anywhere close, to my knowledge, to being able to pay that fine, so I'm 99% sure that they are going to be fired next week. So if they have nothing left to lose, you can almost guarantee that they would interfere in this match on behalf of Dirty Dawn. So smart by BCW management to not have Hard Limit come out here, have them banned from ringside. Trying to jockey for position early in this match, and he's going for a big snap suplex. So a smart decision there from management, just having this be a one-on-one match. There will be no interference, no interruptions. Man versus man in the main event for the world title, which is exactly how it should be. The second thing in this match that's notable is the leg bandage of Byron Cassidy. He has had it for the first 8 weeks here in BCW. As we can see, that bandage is removed. He does not have it on. Now, I don't know if he's 100%. And a big reversal there from Dirty Dawn. I do not know if he's 100%, if that leg injury is 100% healed. I do know it was some... Oh, and a big move by Dirty Dawn, taking them both outside. That could injure you. And a big step over. Big stroke-like maneuver to the outside, just slamming his face into the mat. And I think Dirty Dawn might want to use some of the outside, some of the metal and some of the concrete and some of the steel bead, the steel stairs to gain some advantage over Byron, because I think Byron's got him in the strength. Oh, and speaking of using the environment to your advantage right there, just dumping him on his back. But as I was mentioning, I do not know if the leg is 100%, but it is notable that Byron does not have the leg brace on here tonight. That is quite notable because in week 1 when these two faced off, he had that leg brace on, he had that bandage on, and Dirty Dawn was able to use it to get that cheating pin and to... Oh, and speaking right there, using the steel stairs right on his face. But Dirty Dawn was able to use that bandage to his advantage in week 1 to get the victory over Byron. There's no pinfalls here tonight, but he might have been able to use it. And a big elbow drop. Looked like Byron was trying to roll to the outside, but got caught in that elbow drop anyways. So two factors that are interesting. We're going to see if either one plays a factor here. Hard Limit banned from ringside, and that bandage not in play. But so far, it looks like just man to man, just going tit for tat. The shame about Dirty Dawn is I don't think he needs to use all his tactics, all his mind games, all his cheating. He doesn't need that to win. He is a very technical wrestler. He has a ring general's mind for this sport. He knows all the moves. He knows how to put the game plans together. He doesn't need to cheat, but he does it, I think, purely just because he likes it, because he gets enjoyment out of the mental game of pro wrestling, how he gets into people's minds and moves them around the board like chess pieces, really. As we're seeing here, there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide, there's no chess pieces to move around the board. He doesn't have Hard Limit, he doesn't have that bandage, it's just mono a mono. Dirty Dawn is doing quite well. It's pretty much a 50-50 split here, I think, so far in this match between Dirty Dawn and Byron Cassidy. They've been trading shots, they've been going back and forth, but it's been move, counter, move, counter, move, counter. They've been really, really close. I think Dirty Dawn will send an even bigger message if he can beat Byron Cassidy straight up here tonight than if he was to do some sort of shenanigans like he's been doing in the past. But I think Byron knew that and tried to remove all the variables by having this Butcher's Brawl, this specialty of Byron, submission and knockouts. As he going for the dirty driver, that could easily lead to a knockout. Get dumped on your head, and he does. Dirty driver. Don't know if it knocked him out. The referee might have to check on it. I don't think it did. Oh, and a submission here, just locking him up. The Byron immediately gets out. Does not want to get weakened by Dirty Don in the submission game. Oh, and tried for that springing lariat, but just missed. And it'll be interesting to see if Dirty Don tries to go, which route he goes. Does he try to go for the submissions like he did? Or does he try to go for the knockout? You'd have to figure that probably the knockout might be more advantageous for Dirty Don, just because he's so adept with that Dirty Driver. You could potentially get a knockout from smashing the head of Byron Cassidy to the mat. We haven't really seen many submissions from Dirty Don, so I think that would be my guess, was he'd probably try and go for the knockout. He might have a submission up his sleeve that we don't know about, so we'll have to see. And speaking of submissions, just wrenching those shoulder blades. That could easily cause a submission. And just really taking it to him, just having him, Byron Cassidy, trapping Dirty Don on the mat, just hitting him with these knees and locking him up in submissions and just not letting him get up. I don't know if playing to the crowd is the right thing. I know it feels good after what Dirty Don's been doing the last few weeks to do that, but gives Dirty Don a chance, like we see him right there. And Byron with the big clothesline answering right back. Picks him back up, and it's just been counter for counter for counter, and Dirty Don needs a breather. Oh, and he's telling him to get out of the ring. Throws him out of the ring just like he did in week 3 when he won the title. And a bit uncharacteristic here going to the top, but calling him up. What move does he have? Big crossbody and no one home. From inside to the outside, that's got to be, what, 15 feet? When you're standing up, it's got to be 20 feet from where your head is. That's a long way to come crashing down. That's a big judgment of error on Dirty Don's part. That's a big mistake. You can see the referee not counting. We have no countouts in this match. No countouts, no disqualifications. And he's wrenching on it. And I think the longer this match goes, the more it favors Byron. Just because if he can get an accumulation of submissions, where if he just keeps going for that arm, for example, it's already been a slightly weakened up by just that move that he did there. So if he can keep doing submission after submission, eventually Dirty Don is going to get caught in something that he cannot get out of. Well, what's this here? Is it the Butcher's block? Is it a big knockout shot? Whatever it is, Dirty Don reversed it. Does not allow him to do it. And a big spine buster. But again, I think both these men know that as soon as they're down on the ground, they got to counter, they got to do something, they got to get back up. And this is how he beat Sweetcox. It's got him in that submission. Beat Sweetcox in week 7 with that knockout shot, but in week 8 he beat him with that exact submission maneuver, so I think Dirty Don knew that. Dirty Don had a front row seat. He was right on the apron when Sweetcox was tapping out in that 6-man tag. He takes him to the ropes. Make sure he remembers how to count to 10. He might forget after all these shots to the top turnbuckle, though. And playing up to the crowd. I guess Dirty Don is the world champ. He knows best, but I gotta think playing to the crowd in a match of this high caliber, high profile is not the way you want to go. You want to go full bore for as long as it takes to get either that knockout or that submission. And that could knock him out. Picks him back up and starts wrenching for the neck. And could that be a setup for the Dirty Driver? It looks like Byron's head's hurting. What's he thinking next? What he's thinking next is that he's going to get a dragon screw from Dirty Don. Dirty Don picks him back up. Throws him into the corner. Does a bit of a misdirect. And throws him to the outside. And again, it's just the taunting. It's Dirty Don trying to play spoiler for everyone. I think he gets off on playing spoiler and being the heel in this match. And he goes for it again, and this time he hits it. Big maneuver, and this time it pays off, and he gets right back up. That's a move that'll do some damage. But Byron with those shots, those big punches. Oh, he's getting on top of him and just wailing away. With those big punches, that could be a submission or a knockout. You get knocked out from any one of those, or submit just from the punches. But he's wrenching on that arm there. And that's something we forgot to mention. You could get a submission by punches, you know. Dirty Don firing back there, but you could just, if Byron gets on top again and just keeps firing away like that, that could be a submission all unto itself, a verbal submission due to strikes like we see in MMA. And Byron, very adept in MMA training, so. Oh, the big suplex there. Page out of Dirty Don's book, we've seen Dirty Don use that exact suplex. Just both men standing here counter for counter. Both men playing that game of mental chess, both men trying to think 10 steps ahead. But I think if you're playing in-ring chess, it's Dirty Don that would have the advantage on that one. But the advantage of tying someone up like a pretzel, I'd give that one to Byron. And he's got him here. He's going for the bone flied and tied. His signature submission hold. Is he going to tap? He's getting close to Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. We appear to have some power outage here in the arena. As we can see there with the breaker box, though, it looks like it's been tampered with, sparks flying out of it. We're trying to get the backup generators online, get you back to the ring action. Oh, and the lights are on. We're back in Dirty Don with a pair of brass knuckles. Oh, and he's taunting there. Dirty Don with a pair of brass knuckles to Byron, and it looks like he's out. Byron writhing around in pain. And I don't know, with the way that the power went out so quick and came back so quick, it could all have been employed by Dirty Don. He's going for the sharpshooter. The Canadian Dirty Don going for the sharpshooter. Just no respect for the tradition of the sharpshooter. And just shrugs it off. And Dirty Don showing no respect for Canada, wearing that purple, that pinkish purple, doing the sharpshooter here in a match where he got to win by submission. Just more to that taunting as he was before. That's just another way of sending a message to everyone in the wrestling community. But you got to suspect that power outage, just the way the lights came out so quick and then came back on so quick, and the obvious tampering of that breaker box, sparks shooting out of it. We got the backup generators online now, but that definitely looks like it has the fingerprints of Dirty Don all over it. We'll have to see if we can get a report backstage on that. At this point, it doesn't matter. The match continues, and I think Byron took some substantial damage when he got hit. That could have been a pin there, but no pins. I think Byron took substantial damage when he got hit by those brass knuckles by Dirty Don. Must have had him in his tights or his knee pad, or maybe hit him under the ring. I don't know, but when the power was out for that 30 seconds, anything could have happened, and he puts on the sharpshooter again. How much more can Byron Cassidy take? Oh, and he taps. Just wrenches on it and taps out. Winner and still world champion Dirty Don. For a whole match that went basically tit for tat, man for man, and only to have the last 2 minutes of it have some shenanigans and some chicanery like Dirty Don does. And this is the sharpshooter right at the end. As you can see, the wrenching and just the angle Byron has no choice but to tap to that one. You gotta live to fight another day. Dirty Don will not break that hold. He'll break a back before he breaks the hold. Still, BCW World Heavyweight Champion. I would say congratulations, but congratulations are not in order for Dirty Don, in my opinion.
Here's your winner and still undisputed BCW World Heavyweight Champion, Dirty Don.
Congratulations to Byron for putting up such a valiant effort, but when you're faced with such underhanded tactics as that, no shame in tapping out at all. The story of this one is still your BCW World Champion, Dirty Don. Fancy Dan kicking us off in that three-way match, getting the submission over Pedro Loco to win the triple threat, getting his first win, and also getting that Champions Challenge opportunity. Next, we had a number 1 contenders match for the BCW World Tag Team titles. We had the Brotherhood isolating Amir and getting the win. Brotherhood, your new number 1 contenders for the tag team titles. Next up, we had Benson, Hicks, and Sergio Gomez. The mind games were not enough. Benson Hicks picked up the win in this match, defeating Sergio Gomez. And in the main event, as we all just saw, Dirty Don and Byron Cassidy, it was a back and forth match for the first 90%. The last 10% of the match was spoiled, it was tainted. Nonetheless, Dirty Don still the BCW World Heavyweight Champion. And next week, the hits just keep coming. We have the fallout from the BCW Breakout Pay-Per-View. What will happen next week as we get to the Breakout? And as we see there, the Champions Challenge match is set. Fancy Dan will face Dirty Don in the first ever Champions Challenge. We will get to the rules and the breakdown of it next week. And also, will Hard Limit be fired? Unless they can find a way to pay that fine, they're going to be fired. I think there's a 99.9% chance that is going to happen. And this just in, the Brotherhood are cashing in that number 1 contender opportunity, and they're going to take on the Game Changers in the main event. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.